My name is Meghan Schmidt, and right now I work as an accountant with the Alberta New Home Warranty Program. And I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, and moved down here to Calgary when my parents moved down here. They relocated, so I relocated down here with my husband. So that's how I came to Calgary, and that was in 2005. So I've been here for 14 years now. Well, I first knew I had some form of anxiety and depression when I was 5 years old. So it was kind of became a normal thing for me where it was just like, this is how you feel. And obviously teenage years weren't kind in that retrospect. And I don't think they're kind for anyone, but when you start off already kind of behind, then you just get further behind with that, with added hormones. And I professionally danced for probably from when I was 3 to about 19 or 20. And that environment is very harsh, as I'm sure most people know. Like that is a hard environment to be in. So that kind of just compounded on top. And yeah, basically once I started being early 20s, it just got worse and worse progressively. And it came to a point where I was struggling and I couldn't go on my own. So I went to my family doctor and they prescribed antidepressants. Didn't really go any further from there. And they just made me feel nothing. So I'm like, well, that's no way to live. Like I could not picture myself going through the rest of my life not feeling anything anymore. And that's when I decided that, you know what, I need help. I need to go and find someone. So I went back to a different GP, thankfully, and she prescribed me a lower dosage of the antidepressant and said, you know what, Calgary Counselling Center, try it. It'll help because you really need the both of them. One really can't do the whole job without the other. I always describe myself, and it's always a bad thing to say, but I do describe myself as suicidal, not meaning that I will commit suicide, but it runs through your mind a lot. And I did have, in my teenage years, I did have a couple of attempts. But at this point, it's more, yeah, it was a low place where it was like, I did not see really any other way out. It was very dark times, but my family kept me going, pulled me through what they could. And they were the ones that were like, maybe you need some help. And at that point I was like, no, I don't need help. I can do this on my own. I'm strong, confident. Well, not really confident, but I'm a strong person and I can do this on my own. And it got to the point where it's like, oh no, I can't do this on my own. And I shouldn't have to do this on my own. That's not my job. There are people out there who can help me and I need to go to them. That was probably about 10 years ago that I did my first round of counseling. And that lasted, I think, a good year and a half, and I was in a good place, and I felt, I was moving forward. I had enough skills and tools in my toolbox that I could handle it on my own, so I stopped going to that counselor. But then a couple of years ago, things weren't going well. I was having issues at work, things were piling up, and I was drowning, essentially. So I decided, after much thought and consideration, to come back, and that's when I started seeing my current counselor right now. And then we had kind of a year break, and then I kind of came back because I had some more issues come up, and yeah, that's where we are today. I think I was more open-minded. I had reached that point where, again, like I said, made that choice that I needed help. And I think that's huge, to go in with an open mind and to go in and be like, you know what, I am receptive to help. I definitely am very introverted. I need breaks and rest and stuff. And sometimes that people just don't understand that. So it was a lot of relationship counseling, a lot of work on viewing myself as valid. And I don't need to make everyone happy all the time. And if you knew about my counseling, it's very hard for me to talk positively about myself. This is a lot of years in the making. Yeah, it's just, I feel like I have fun now. That's essentially it. I have fun. I don't sweat the small stuff. I still have episodes, but you know what? It's part of life. It's not going to go away anytime soon, so I just got to learn how to roll with it a lot better. And yeah, I go and I have fun, and I know that if I have to take a break, I'm allowed to do that. No one's going to be upset if I have to say, you know what, I can't hang out tonight. I'm too tired, or I'm just not feeling it, or I had a busy day at work and I just want to crash. No one's going to be upset if they're really your friends. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of just living life every day and not going through the motions. Just enjoying it, because it's kind of the only life I got. So I want to make the most out of it. Right? So just having someone there to listen was big for me. Someone that wasn't going to judge, and someone who could actually give me feedback on these situations and be like, you know what, I've seen this before. I know what you're going through, or I not really I know what you're going through, but I understand where you're coming from, and you're not crazy. You're not alone. That was big. And that here's some skills that you can use in your everyday life to help you through this, to help you through your depressive spells, your anxiety cycles. Like when I'm deep in depression now, I can get out of it in a matter of maybe a day, maybe two. Before it was months, years. So that's huge for me, because it's basically I took control of my life back. I got my life back, essentially. I'm open about my struggles with mental health, and it's funny because I was talking to some new friends. You know, we had maybe known each other a couple of months, not really anything. Invited us over for dinner, and I just divulged like entire mental health history, how I came to counseling, and this, that, and the other thing. And afterwards, the gentleman that we were with, he was just like, you know what? Thank you for that. He's like, I struggled myself with mental health. I've never met anyone so open about it as you are, but just having that conversation, and he was able to have that conversation back, was huge. And he's like, it just was massive that you are so open and able to talk about it. And I think that's just, I want to break that stigma that this is nothing to be ashamed of. It is your health. And you shouldn't go through your life feeling ashamed for something that you have no control over. You have a little bit of control, but it's something that's going to be a part of you in any way, shape, or form. Like, I've never met anyone who's never had a depressive episode or never had an anxiety attack or something like that. Like, it just happens. And we shouldn't be ashamed of that. You have to go in wanting to get help, wanting to get better, wanting to learn. Because it's not a magic wand. Like, it's not someone you go in, you talk to someone, and all of a sudden you're better. You're cured, you can go home, you don't have to come back anymore. It is hard work, but it is so worth it.